Okay guys, here we are again. I'm going to turn a snowman here on the lathe. So I have a piece of pine that I roughed into a round cylinder. Now I'm going to use a spindle gouge with a fingernail grind, and I'm going to start to shape the bottom of it. I want to get one last video in before Christmas. Okay, now as I shape the body, I have to do 3 spheres. They're kind of like half-round spheres. The bottom is going to be the biggest. That's going to be the base of the body. And the middle is going to be a little bit smaller. And then the last sphere, which is going to be a head, is going to be only half of a sphere going into the bottom of the wide brim hat. Now I'll just use the carbide detailer to really get deep into the separations of the body to give it that real round over appearance, with the separation of each being a different snowball on the snowman. I have a really small spindle gouge here. It's a mini spindle gouge. It's mostly for pen turning, but it's great for removing tool marks in small spaces like this. Now I'm just going to raise the lathe speed here to a little over 1600. I'm going to use a thin parting tool. I'm going to start to define the rim of the top hat. Switching back to the carbide detailer just to give me a little more definition into the separation of the body. I'm going to use my carbide easy rougher here, and I'm going to start to shape the top hat. This is just a final cleanup of any tool marks before I begin my sanding. And now I'm going to grab some wood chips and give it a little burnishing before I put on the final finish. I'm going to clean up the bottom a little bit, make it a little concave with the detailer, just so that if anybody wants to sit it on the table instead of hanging it on the tree, they can do that and it'll sit flat and it won't wobble. The technique I'm using here is using just a piece of scrap wood, and I'm going to hold it against it with some pressure at a high speed while it spins, and I'm going to burn some black marks into the top hat to create that black texture. Now I'm going to use the same technique just to tint the inside of the hat, just to give it a little color variation. I'll just apply some of my homemade friction polish, burn it in, and then we'll start to wrap this project up. And it's time to part it off so that I can put a hook in the top and get it on a Christmas tree.